I've talked about this before, and it's kind of an unorthodox opinion, but I hope the rest of crypto never figures out what we've got going on over here in Cardano. I really don't. I love the information asymmetry, and I hope it lasts as long as possible. First of all, we don't actually need them. We are the island. We don't need the pond. We need the ocean. We don't need to convert current crypto guys. We need to convert the mainstream. Second, there is no opportunity if you're not ahead of the herd. If every Ethereum influencer suddenly embraced Cardano tomorrow, that would be the day that you're already too late. I personally love being ahead of the crowd. I don't want to be the last one into the party. On a more practical level, we also don't need the tax bases of our staking rewards to skyrocket during the bear market. And we'll also collect more adoption in the next bull cycle. I know a lot of you are also very happy to be DCAing at these prices. I do understand the argument that we need to combat disinformation so the lies about Cardano don't take root in the popular imagination. But why not allow ourselves to enjoy this information asymmetry just a little while longer? Ready? Let's go. Today, we are going to discuss a notable recent example of this extreme information asymmetry in our favor that I love so much. Chrles talking about the possibility of acquiring CoinDesk. Some notable items popping up that seem to be related to a member of the eTukTuk team, and the birth of In-Metaverse transactions in CardaStation. If you think that this guy just looks like your average heterochromian porch bandit who opened up a decoy glitter bomb, or if you're finding value in these videos each weekday, please consider delegating to the Army of Spies stake pool, ticker AOS. Here's an example of exactly what I'm talking about. Stake with Pride posted this 9 days ago, and this came from these two guys. I can never remember their names, but I'll just call the bottom one Small Beard and the top one Beardless. So this is the quote from Beardless, and you can watch this clip. This is a video clip right here along with this post. You can watch this clip and compare for yourself, but I think this is pretty much exactly word for word what he said. Cardano really hasn't done anything. It's just been a lot of talk. There's like nothing, really not much you can do on Cardano. This is the kind of thing we've seen a lot, especially from influencers over on the Ethereum side of things, but kind of throughout crypto. And I mean, we don't want to exaggerate this too much. We're not the only ones who get a lot of criticism in crypto. Crypto is very tribal and everybody is constantly criticizing everybody else. But I think it's fair to say that Cardano does get a gigantic amount of it. It's hard to name a top 10 blockchain that gets more of this than Cardano. And it always has this like ring of insecurity to it. It's kind of like, some dude is like, that guy that my ex-girlfriend is dating, he doesn't do anything. He just like makes money and stays in really good shape. That's all he does. He doesn't do anything else. He just makes a lot of money and stays in really good shape. It's kind of like that. It's like Cardano hasn't done anything. It's just a lot of talk. There's like nothing, not much you can do on Cardano. And of course, Stake with Pride gave a counterpoint here, one of Ada Will's excellent threads, where he points out, the gigantic number of things that are actually happening on Cardano. And it is really funny to see this because we can so easily refute the things they say. Like, there's nothing. Cardano hasn't done anything. There's like nothing you can do on Cardano, which of course is untrue. We've got a bunch of DEXs now, other DeFi, all kinds of NFT stuff. We've got these real world projects like World Mobile. There's all kinds of stuff going on Cardano. It's always really easy to refute these points, but it is kind of hilarious because it always does sort of ring of insecurity. But I don't want it to end. The day that Beardless stops saying stuff like this, I'm going to be alarmed. I'm going to be concerned. I want all of the Ethereum influencers to continue believing this, at the very least. I would love it if it continued for like 5 years, but at the very least, just for this bear cycle, just for this bear market, if we can continue getting them to believe this just for this bear cycle, that'll be fantastic. The level of adoption we want is not a trickle of Ethereum guys during a bear market. We want that big mainstream adoption that usually in crypto, let's be honest with ourselves, it usually only happens in a bull market. It doesn't happen in the bear market. Nobody comes over. You can see all of the influencers in all of crypto. They're all complaining that there's so little engagement. That's because nobody in the mainstream comes over to crypto during the bear market. That stuff happens during the bull cycle. It all happens during the bull cycle. So I don't think there's any reason for us to drive ourselves crazy trying to convince anybody outside of Cardano of anything about Cardano. I would prefer it if they just believe this. I would rather we all just sort of stay ahead of the herd. We let the people building in Cardano continue building. The people that love to DCA can continue DCAing. Those of us getting staking rewards can continue getting those staking rewards at a reasonable tax basis, not the kind of skyrocketing tax basis that we would have to suffer if all of the Ethereum guys suddenly came over to Cardano. I don't think that's the kind of thing we want in this market. Sure, game on during a bull market, game on. We'll take all the adoption we can get. But even in that case, I don't think we need the rest of the crypto guys, or that we really want them. What we want is the mainstream. We want that mainstream adoption. And during a bear market like this, there it's not going to be some kind of convincing of the rest of crypto that's going to change things. It's that mainstream influx that happens during bull cycles. That's what changes things. It's not anything that happens really internally in crypto. Okay, so maybe that's not entirely true because everything we're building in Cardano certainly does matter and it is internal to crypto. So what we're building does matter, but it'll really matter during the next bull market. That's when that'll really matter in terms of adoption. And I'm not talking about price here. I'm just talking about adoption, getting people into Cardano, which is something I think we can all agree is a good goal. But until then, I don't even think it matters what the rest of the crypto guys really think. Certainly there are like extreme cases of disinformation, and it makes sense to combat that so that, outright lies about Cardano or incorrect information doesn't take root in the popular imagination. Certainly we need to combat certain types of disinformation, but I don't think we should be worried about what Ethereum developers are saying. It's sort of like a bunch of Ford guys talking about Toyota, a bunch of Ford diehard aficionados talking about Toyota. What are they going to say about Toyota? They're going to say that Toyota sucks. They are going to say the kinds of things about Toyota that the Ethereum guys are saying about Cardano. Toyota really hasn't done anything lately. It's just been a lot of talk. There's like nothing, really not much you can do with Toyota these days. This is exactly what you'd expect in that kind of a context. Of course, the diehard Ford guys aren't going to say nice things about Toyota. Meanwhile, the Toyota guys are over there saying, okay, that's fine, but we're also over here building the most durable cars on the face of the earth, unlike Ford. So I don't think we need to be too concerned with what the rest of crypto thinks about it. In fact, in a lot of ways, maybe it's better for Toyota if Ford doesn't realize how much more durable Toyotas are. If they suddenly understood how much more durable a Toyota is, then they might just start trying to copy, the manufacturing processes of Toyota. Okay, maybe that's already been happening for like 20 years, but we don't want the rest of crypto focused on Cardano right now. What we want is to build during this bear market and then emerge in the bull cycle with a bunch of stuff that the rest of crypto doesn't have, a bunch of features that the other smart contract Gen 3 platforms don't have. And we don't want them all looking at what we're doing right now. We want to kind of surprise them in the next bull cycle so that they can't catch up. You'll remember that yesterday we talked about this new Cardano project, eTukTuk.io. And at the time, I said, I have no idea if this is a good project, a bad project, a terrible project. Don't know very much about it yet, and I still don't know very much about it. But my friend Subcritical knows that I love to know about anything notable, especially anything unusual that pops up with any of these new Cardano projects. So he brought a few notable items to my attention, a few interesting items. And I'm not going to try to paint these in either a positive or a negative light, but just like I like to know about anything interesting, notable, weird about any new project in Cardano, I'm also bringing this to your attention because I think you'll probably also want to know. So here's the team page at eTukTuk.io, and you can see it's quite a big team. There are quite a few people on this page. The very first person is Ryan Fischoff, CEO, and his bio says Ryan is a successful entrepreneur who started his career working at Liz Claiborne Inc. before transitioning to the world of private equity, where he worked at Kobe Capital. Over his 6-year tenure at Kobe, Ryan participated in over 500 million worth of transactions in 13 countries. Subcritical sent this Yahoo Finance article to me. And by the way, Subcritical has a YouTube channel. I think a lot of people don't know about this YouTube channel, but he has a YouTube channel. Go on over to his channel and check out his videos, doing some great Cardano videos. So this Yahoo Finance article says, American Wealth Mining Corp signs binding LOI for first U.S. cafe location in New York City. So you're wondering, what does this have to do with eTukTuk.io? So if I come down halfway through the article down here, it says Ryan Fischoff, CEO of AWM, which I'm assuming is American Wealth Mining Corporation. Ryan Fischoff, CEO of AWM, commented, the company is excited for its first Happy Cafe location in New York. This is a milestone achievement for AWM as we are positioning the company to meet the strategic goal that we set back in August to open 20 cafes in New York State over the next 18 months. So this article here appears to be dated January 12th, 2023. So just very recently. Oh, and by the way, I know I kept calling this an article, but whenever you see this Globe Newswire via New Media Wire, and there's no author listed, and they just kind of show the company's name right here. My experience with these is that these are usually news releases, not news releases, press releases. These are press releases from the company. These are not articles. My experience, at least, is these are not articles written by some reporter. These are press releases from the company. So notice here that this article says American Wealth Mining Corporation is pleased to announce that it has executed a binding LOI to acquire its first cafe in the US. So its first cafe in the US. Upon completion, the company intends to establish the first Happy Cafe location in New York City. Subcritical also sent me content from this website. This website says American Wealth Mining Corporation, meet the team, and there we see Ryan Fischoff again. Definitely looks like the same Ryan Fischoff to me. And when we go over here to Happy Cafe, which was mentioned in that Yahoo Finance press release, we see some images. Yeah, looks like some kind of a cafe. They say a unique lifestyle cafe outlet. 4-in-1 concept. Okay. And then we come down here and we see Happy Cafe in Utah, Salt Lake City, in Linden, Utah. So this is a little confusing because they said that the first cafe in the US would be that New York cafe that was in the press release or article, whatever it was, dated January 12th. But then Subcritical noticed something else. When you zoom in on this photo, this looks a little bit weird. These letters look a little bit weird here. They look a little bit pixelated. This looks a little bit odd. I haven't seen any actual buildings with the name of a company on them where the name of the company looks pixelated like this. And to my eyes, it looks like a little bit of blurring, sort of blurring. Like you can see right here, there's a lot of detail in this grain. And down in here, there's like all this blurring around where this name is. Kind of the same thing here. Like I see a lot of this kind of detail from these vines that were growing across this building right here. And then right here, that's kind of gone. It's kind of blurry, kind of over here. I could be mistaken, but this does not look very ordinary to me. So apparently it didn't look very ordinary to Subcritical either, because he saw this and he thought, okay, I'll just go to this address in Google Street View. So I'm no Google Street View expert, but when I come to this address, I find myself at this location, this Street View. And if we zoom in a little bit here, here's what I see. It looks to me like the same building, but the names on the outside of the building, the branding on the outside of the building, I'm guessing some kind of a tenant in this building, is not the same as in that image we just saw that does appear to currently be on the website. To me, it's also very interesting to note where the letters are in this image right here. So if I look at this, let's see, we've got kind of a bunch of letters. Step beyond real reality, step beyond reality. And it's pretty wide and pretty close to this line right here. And then we've got this other big logo kind of up here. If I compare where the letters were in that Google Street View image to where the blurry areas are in this image from the website, I can't help but ask some questions. There's definitely a blurry area over here, to my eyes at least, and there seem to be some other little blurry areas sort of all right along this area close to this line. And then in that other image, they seem to have that tall vertical logo, and I can't help but notice there seem to be some blurry areas in that same, to my eyes, that same spot on this image. So it could be I've got the wrong building or something, but I went around the corner. I sort of used Google Street View to go around the corner. I looked at this side of the building, and it also doesn't look like it has the branding in that image with the funny pixelation either. And who knows? I mean, here, at least on this side, after I've gone around the corner now, Google Street View is telling me I'm in what I think is the right location, 644 North, 2000 West, but I still am not seeing the building with that branding. And if I look over here to the other side, it looks like we've got kind of a construction site, and that doesn't seem to be the same kind of building there. So I don't know exactly what's going on with this cafe location they seem to be showing on their website. I mean, I don't really know what to make of this. It could be that the branding that they showed on their website is on the other side of the building that we can't see, or the other side of the building. I think there are two sides of the building we can't really see from Street View here, or maybe we've got the wrong building altogether. But it does seem like a lot of coincidence where there's the weird pixelation in that photo on their website, and we come to Google Street View here, and it doesn't have that same branding on the building. Who knows? Maybe Google Street View is out of date or something. I don't know what to make of this. Subcritical also sent me this website, c-charge.io. And if we go down here to the team section, we can see our team, lead strategic advisor, co-founder Ryan Fishoff, chief executive officer of American Wealth Mining Corporation, OTC HIPH, a publicly traded company focusing on a diversified wealth building platform for its consumers and shareholders. Down here below, it says Mr. Fishoff is leading the company's transition from CBD/hemp nanotech to developing this new hybrid platform. And if we look at what this website is all about, up here at the top, it says pre-sale ending soon, 59 days, 0 hours, 35 minutes. CCHG token. C plus Charge is building a robust peer-to-peer payment system for EV charging stations built on blockchain technology. And if we come down here, how to buy tokens, they talk about BNB, Tether, topping up with your BNB card, the MetaMask wallet. So it looks like Ryan Fishoff has quite a few things going on. Thank you to Subcritical for sending all that over to me. Again, I'm not trying to paint this in either a positive or negative light, but these things were notable to me. And since we just talked about eTukTuk.io just yesterday, I felt a duty to also pass this along to you. So do what you will with that information. For myself, though, I will say that if I have any question whatsoever about a project or anybody involved in a project, no matter how remote the question is, if there's any question I can't answer, I do not participate. We also got this video from Chrles where he discussed the idea that maybe CoinDesk is for sale. Obviously, DCG is all tied up in the whole Genesis explosion thing, whatever's going to come out of that. And it looks like CoinDesk may be for sale. You probably know that CoinDesk is a DCG thing. So Charles talked about the price that's being thrown around. And I think he said he was talking about figures of like 200 million and how that might be overpriced. But he sort of went through a little exploration of what could be done with CoinDesk if Charles bought CoinDesk. So this was kind of interesting. In typical Charles fashion, he wouldn't just buy it and sort of, leave it as is. Of course, he wants to improve it and do some revolutionary things with it. He had all kinds of ideas about how we get back to integrity in journalism and maybe make the articles, each article would maybe be an NFT, so it could be on chain, it could be referenced, you could see progression from one report to the next, and maybe he would give the top 100 blockchains their own sort of space in the CoinDesk universe, so they could have somebody from their project write content about that project in order to, in some way, create a little bit more balanced reporting and avoid bias. And he talked about how, of course, people would assume there was bias in CoinDesk if it ran any kind of positive articles about Cardano, those kinds of things. And he also said, maybe 200 million is way too much for CoinDesk. Maybe you could just take 5 or 10 million and sort of create your own version of something like CoinDesk, whole cloth. Maybe that'd be a better play than actually acquiring CoinDesk. But then again, I do see the point in buying something like CoinDesk, because it'll seem it's sort of like the difference between Elon Musk starting, Elon Musk social media platform versus acquiring Twitter. And there's definitely a difference between those two things. This is kind of an interesting possibility. Obviously, Charles has the money for this kind of stuff, as far as I know. Whether or not he wants to do it, whether or not he wants to take that on, I think is another question. And whether or not DCG is willing to part with CoinDesk at a price that makes sense, I think that's a pretty big question mark. But think of the possibilities. What if there was a really big crypto media outlet that actually engaged in fair journalism as far as Cardano goes, and every other blockchain? Finally, something big happened in CardaStation, I think just today. So apparently, I think it's starting today, yesterday when you see this video, but today as I record, I believe you could do actual in-metaverse transactions in CardaStation. I think this is a first for Cardano Metaverse project. So apparently you can just walk into the garage in CardaStation and buy things with real cryptocurrency, make actual cryptocurrency transactions inside the metaverse. CardaStation was kind of the first Cardano Metaverse that I knew of, at least, where you could get on the ground and walk around. And they were really early. And now, as far as I know, I think they're the first one where you can do actual in-metaverse transactions with real cryptocurrency. So good job, CardaStation. I think this is a Cardano first. I hope you had a great week. I hope you're gearing up for a fun weekend, doing something, whatever it is, whether it's wintertime or summertime for you. It is definitely wintertime in the Northern Hemisphere. I hope you're doing something fun, and I will talk to you soon.